All right, gang. So you guys, I know you asked some Q&A when we had the two speakers before. I hope you saved some of your harder questions. Now we've got 5 expert video content people. And by video content, I mean everything, from production to marketing to optimizing and any storytelling. Anything you can imagine. So it's free game with the questions you want to ask today. I've got a few questions I want to get the party started with. And then from there, it's going to be open floor. We've got plenty of time left. I would say I'll cap this at 45 minutes. Sorry, guys. Let's not hit the video mic attached to my pocket. Good call. Video expertise here. I'm not the video expert, so let's take all the questions for these guys. And let me get the party started by asking each one of them to give me like a 30-second breakdown of who you are, even though we heard from 2 of you, and a little bit about your video experience or what type of knowledge regarding video are you bringing to the table here today. So Justin, take it away.
Okay, you guys heard a lot from me already, and actually I just want to take this opportunity instead of talking about myself, which you guys already kind of know enough, and to say that one of the cool things like about Wistia and even Facebook and other online programs is the analytics. And I think it's really important that you guys pay attention to the analytics, finding out your drop-off rate, finding out exactly where people are stopping watching videos, if they stop. And if they're watching it all the way through, realizing that you're doing something right. So using analytics that are available online is really powerful. And Wistia actually we use Wistia specifically for that, to prove to our clients that what we're doing as far as our videos is working. So I think it's important that you guys understand that and know that. So yeah, enough about me.
All right, Margot.
Hi. I always wonder if people can hear me on a.
Can you hear Margot?
Okay. So I'm Margot. I'm the partnership coordinator at Wistia. So what that means is we do a lot of co-marketing with other companies. We help marketers use video really well. We make videos at Wistia every single day. So that's everything from support videos, so sending videos to folks. I know, Ed, you said that you did that at your company as well. That works really well. Product videos, culture videos, social videos, everything you can imagine.
That's gonna sell
And
me.
I gotta say that
All right, I'm really excited, guys. I'm sorry.
I gotta say that, I have to echo Justin here. Those analytics are crucial. So if you want to talk to me about that, or you want to talk to me about partnerships, or you want to talk to me about content, hit me up, Margot Codes or Margot at Wistia, or just come up to me right here. Yay. Maybe in like half an hour.
And buy her a drink.
The free beer is gone. I'm sorry, guys.
Hello, I am Summer Felix. I am the co-founder of The Draw Shop, and we specialize in whiteboard animation videos. So if you don't know what those are, if you've seen those videos with the time-lapsed hand drawing really quickly, that's what we do. We've also just launched interactive videos, which is really cool, and I hope we get a chance to talk about that, because it really goes in line with the analytics and what is your audience doing as they watch the video. Because if you can learn about your audience, you can market to them directly, and you're just going to get so many more qualified leads and loyal fans. So yeah, I'm excited to be here. And take it away.
Hi, I'm Richard Tyland. I'm the CEO of New Evolution Video. And since YouTube came out, I've had a passion for producing videos for corporations. I knew that we would come to this point where pre-roll and post-roll would be some way that marketers would be able to reach their audience. And I have a dying passion to help corporations promote their message and find the right video for their marketing needs.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Juckett. I'm a marketer, just like you guys. And I've also been on the service provider side. Right now, I am working as a contractor, helping marketers find solutions. And really, I've kind of seen it all. I come from the attitude of helping people figure it out. Where do I start? What do I do? How do I find the right tools? And without freaking out. And I've screened all kinds of tools, and I really help point people to tools with folks like these. So just here to kind of talk from experience and kind of seen it all. So just here to help out.
All right. Well, it's a pleasure having you all here. So let's start. Let's give them a round of applause, everybody. I didn't pay a single one of them other than with free beer. So shows what you can get people to do with beer. All right, let's start with a lot of us in this room are small business owners, marketing managers for small businesses, really low budget companies. We're cheap, right? Right? Who's cheap in here? Who doesn't have a $20,000 budget? So how do you do, what's your tips, what's your advice to get started without a $100,000 budget? Take it away, Richard.
Well, it's really good to go with, before you go to a company, find out what your budgetary range is, what you feel comfortable investing. It really helps us as professionals say, hey, we can take you, that's within our budget, or refer you to our contractor, or maybe provide you some other avenues if you don't have a $20,000 budget. I love to give advice if somebody says, hey, look, I have $1,000. I'll sit there and I'll talk with them about their options. Because they're honest with me. You know, if we sit there for 30 minutes and you're not a qualified lead for me and I'm giving you information you can't use, what good does that do both of us? You know, so I really think if you determine your budget and have an idea before you, either reach out to a professional video agency or do it yourself, you're going to save yourself a lot of time.
I would say first, it's important to know what your goals are with video. So I think, you can do it yourself and then prove ROI and then go to a company, right? Or you can do it yourself and then make money from that video and then go to a company. But when you're first starting out on your own, just make sure to say, who is my audience for this video? What do I want them to do? What are my goals for this video? Once you have that down, you'll be able to create a targeted, specific video. Use your money on ads or don't. Put it on your website, whatever you want to do. But you can start with a $100 studio with your iPhone, and you're going to be fine. As long as you get those goals straight, prove that ROI, and then you can choose to go to a company if you'd like.
You meant Android, right, over iPhone. Justin, go for it.
So one thing I would definitely say is, there's a lot that you can do on your own. And actually, part of what we say is, how much stuff can you guys truly do on your own? And how much should you have us do for you guys? Obviously, there's a different level of experience. Some of you might have a lot of experience in filmmaking and be able to bring that to your business, and some of you have absolutely no experience. However, we can teach you things that you guys can do as far as a business in order to be able to, come up with content or whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. The goal is extremely important. The other thing I think that's really important, and it's funny because I think it was last year I did an inbound marketing event, and it was at the House of Blues, and they wouldn't let me film. So I actually had the opportunity to sit down and listen to everything that they were talking about, which was great, because usually I'm freaking out about the live stream not working. But they had this fireside chat, and of course I took this opportunity to plug myself and said, hey, what is in the world today of marketing, where does video fit in? And do you remember who that was? Joe? Okay, he's not even with the company anymore, so I shouldn't bring him up. But anyway, he goes, the thing is, a lot of people undervalue video. They see it as something like, well, I can write 100 blogs in the next couple weeks or something like that. And that's instant gratification, right? 100 blogs is a lot. But they see this instant gratification. And the thing about video is that it takes time and money, and you don't necessarily see that return of investment very quickly. So I think that, but he said, however, video is incredibly powerful. So for you guys to kind of understand that making the investment, making the leap, and hiring people for video, that's really important for your business, especially in today's world, because that's where we're going. That's what my whole talk was really about. That's where we're going.
And to your point, 100 blogs, yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
And really, if we're talking about an investment, you don't have to go crazy with your video. Video is important. Video is personal. Video, when you're talking about creating video, people want to interact with you, with your face, with your company, with your brand, right? So it's important to have good production value, but if you guys are just getting started and you're worried about this and you want to like start out slow, get you somebody to talk to the screen. You know, you got up and said, hey, stand by the window, right? If you want to get started, do that. And do that while you're proving your ROI for your big production video. Because you've got to start somewhere, and that's the place to start. So while you're working on the production and something big, do that. And get the idea of, you know, the face and the interaction and the, you know, getting your company used to it going. I think that might be a good place to start.
Yeah, I think it's super important to connect with your audience. So even if it is just you holding your camera, people are doing that on Facebook all the time. They're taking a walk in the park, the lighting's bad, it doesn't matter. And they get tons of shares, tons of likes because they're like, wow, I totally just connected with you. And even just your video, had you not been demonstrating audio, you're just doing some tips, people start to look at that, even if you just have your iPhone going, hey, I'm gonna give you some tips about whatever my services are, what I do. And then all of a sudden people are following that. They may try them, they may not, and go, you know what, now's the time for me to work with him, and I trust him because he's already giving me all this free information. So it can start as small as that. It doesn't have to be expensive at the beginning, but if you're making the investment with your audience and your followers, then I think you're gonna be golden.
I just want to follow up on one thing and ask a question. How many of y'all do webinars? Okay, how many of y'all do like webinars or ebooks or stuff behind a gate? Okay. All of you should be doing an introductory video. And you can do all of those. Like we do our introductory video, it's just a talking head in front of a camera. We've had folks, partners, do them on their webcam, on their MacBook or PC. And it's...
No. Hey, it's not mine. I swear.
But you can do that from your webcam, or you can use your iPhone. It's super simple. It's a great way to get into it. And it can be 20 seconds long. Most of our webinar introduction videos are 20 seconds long. It's super easy. And while you're doing that and you're proving that ROI, because you can see how many people watched this video and then signed up versus a webinar that I did without a video. And you're going to see those numbers go up. And then you can prove your ROI. And then if you'd like to make a higher production value video with a different company, you can do that. It's going to be a lot easier for you.
So that leads me to my next question. I've got, let's say I've got $5,000 to $10,000. I know a video I need. I know why I need it. I know my goals. Who do I go to? Do I go to a freelancer? Do I temp DIY? Do I go to a full-fledged production company? So I'm that small to mid-sized business. I've got a little budget, and I know I need a video. Pros and cons of those three offers: DIY, production versus freelancer.
You need to do your research. I would hope that you've already, met with. I would hope that you already looked at companies much like, Animus. I hope you would looked at, a couple people that you've seen out from different trade shows that you've been to. I would hope that you've talked to other people professionally. It depends on your goals and the level of production you need. I mean, I wouldn't attempt to do something yourself if you're looking at a product with an end goal of something like we just saw from Animus. You can't do that yourself.
So you're saying around a $10,000 budget, right? You said, so
I said 5 to 10.
5 to 10, okay, great.
Let's be real.
She sees big numbers.
And I'm only speaking to this because that's a lot of the people that come to us are, I don't have a big budget to hire a production team. And because we do whiteboard animation, we're not going on location, we're not filming you with all special kind of lighting or anything, but we are 100% custom. So we're taking your concepts and making it impossible for anybody to misunderstand. We're making the viewer feel totally understood. And we're like $1,500 per produced minute. And that includes all of your voiceover. That includes writing your copy, everything. So a lot of times we're that starting video. We're that starting point for someone because then they're like, oh, wow. And the conversions are like off the chain. Like, it's awesome. So it's so worth it because you have such an incredible ROI, and now it's like, okay, cool, now I have the bigger budget to go out and do something kick-ass, even more kick-ass.
What if I had never heard of you, though?
What if you haven't heard of us?
And what if I didn't know that I needed to talk to 100 people first? I know I want a video. Where do I go first?
I mean, Ed, go ahead.
I'll let you take
Well,
this one.
at the beginning, I was saying if you know your budgetary range, like Hanson's provided for us, it gives a production company a lot of insight as to what we can do for you. Can we put you in a studio? Can we do advanced lighting? Do we do a RED or a DSLR? Should we coach you to do your own videos? I don't always agree with doing your own videos because you might suck. It might hurt your product. You might not know how to edit. You know, if you're doing one talking head, sure, that's great. If you're showcasing a software or hardware, you're not going to shoot your own video, put it into nonlinear editing, know how to do all the audio and video adjustments. It's far too, complex. But if you're just shooting on an iPhone and you're doing a quick video, sure, you can get away with that as long as you feel comfortable. Because if you also feel nervous and it comes across like shaky, you should hire a professional company and a professional actor to represent your company. Because reputation management is a big thing in video. If you go and try to do these videos and you don't know your messaging and you're coming across cheesy or nervous or you're not getting your message across professionally, then what are you doing? You're hurting your brand. You can actually decrease sales. People are going away from your page. So with that investment, you need to decide, are you going to do a ton of videos by yourself? Do you need a company like me to come in and consult for you and coach you? Or do you want a really kick-ass 5 to 10 grand video that's going to represent your company? Do you need 3 videos? Do you need 5 videos? So when you have that information, you can shop and come to people like us. We're happy to give you free information. Hey, this is my idea. This is my budget. Even if you don't go with me, here's some fantastic ideas for you to bring home.
And I definitely agree with Richard in the sense that if you guys are starting out, I mean, YouTube is forever, right? I mean, it's forever nowadays. So if you guys are starting out a company...
That's what they said about MySpace.
Yeah. Well, YouTube's a lot bigger, but Facebook is catching up. Anyway, the point is, though, that these videos are going to be online maybe for a long time, and you definitely want to represent yourself the best you possibly can starting out. Your image is very important, especially for, I mean, almost every business, right? I mean, it's very important to have a good image. So going in and doing your own videos, that might be all you can do, but I would not suggest doing that. What I was trying to get at even earlier is, like, think about it, that this is the wave of the future, and you might be investing money in other avenues that you think are effective, but today things are changing. You know, there's some book that came out a while ago. It's called, like, Who Moved My Cheese? I remember reading the 60 pages of this book and being like, really? That's all it's about? If I don't amass a new collection of cheese somewhere, I'm going to die, or whatever the book was about. The point was that you have to evolve with the times, right? And it's important. I mean, that's where we're moving, right? Today we are going towards a world where people consume everything through video. So, you should think about maybe reinvesting some of your money in some of the archaic methods right now of marketing and put it into something that is going to actually have a true return on investment. And not just that, but a return on investment that you can target an audience that you know is yours. And hopefully you know that. That's on you guys.
I may or may not have been really upset once about someone moving my cheese. So.
Move my cheese.
One more question let me open it up here after one more question. So we're leading into this idea of maybe you have this big budget, you know what you need, maybe you don't, maybe you have never started before, you need to get started, and you want to just try it out. You want to DIY it a little bit just to test the waters. What are some basic tips to get started, or what do you need to get started to DIY just to get going? And protect your reputation, like Richard's saying, right? Make sure you don't really screw it up.
YouTube has a ton of resources. There's producers that have given you the roadmap to success. Whether you want to sit down and watch that and take notes and implement it, it's a free tool for you. I highly suggest you educate yourself. You can get a whole film degree online. There's a channel called No Film School. It'll teach you about ISO settings, how to act in front of the camera. If you can do it yourself, I want you to do it yourself. I want you to save the money and make your business successful if you can. Because that's what really matters, is making you successful. What I've learned is most people start with video and they get so frustrated, and you're right, doing video yourself is awesome if you can, but I mean, how many of you guys have produced successful videos on your own in here that have made things happen for you? Okay, so a few of you. Okay, well, did you guys do it yourself or did you film other people? Who filmed themselves? Okay, so a couple people. Who felt really comfortable right away on the camera? Okay. So it sounds really great to do it. It's going to save you a lot of money, and it's you representing your brand. But for most people, even me as the CEO of a video production company, I'm not always comfortable in front doing my own web shows, and I know everything about film. And so the DIY is really good when you educate yourself and you get the information you need, the equipment to buy, how to act in front of the camera, how to write your script. So I really recommend if you're going to do DIY, just get educated first and find out from experts.
Also determine what's your time worth. Is it worth it to you? Like if you can be
Great point.
making money doing what you're awesome at, if you're an expert in this and you're trying to be an expert in video production, you're going to realize that the money you're going to spend here is going to go like, oh, you know what? Now I have this and I have all of my hours back.
I would love to echo Richard here and say, learn as much as you possibly can. Don't go in to shoot a video and say, screw it, this is going to be great first time. Because it's not going to happen. I mean, just like with a lot of different things, you can't just jump into something and be perfect at it the first time. So I would recommend if you have like a notepad or you're interested in this, if you go to wistia.com/library, we have a bunch of free, no turnstile resources that you can look at everything from scripting to production to editing to getting comfortable in front of the camera. We call it getting loose. We do like a little dance every single time we get behind a camera. I can show you. It's going to be very embarrassing, but
It's at the end, after one more beer.
I'm not easily embarrassed, so I can show you. But go on that wistia.com/library. It's all free tips and information. Like if you're struggling with screenwriting, it's tricky. It's going to be hard. I'm not going to say that DIY video is easy. It's not. You're going to have to learn a lot, but it's fun and it's a good way to get started.
I will second that. No advertising for Wistia here, but when I worked in an in-house company, my CEO asked me to do a video. I was the one marketing person in the whole company, and so it was my responsibility to do a video, and there was no time or money to go get a production company. So I bought the little tiny mic that they have a link to on Amazon. I didn't actually have the budget for even tripods or boom mics or anything like that. So I went to the garage. We had this. It's a big old industrial garage, and I had all the tools I could find, clamps I could find, even some long sticks to get the microphone to hang like above the person's head out of the camera frame. And it looked like the horrendous film like scene inside of his office, but what you saw at the end was actually, I was super impressed by myself with what I got at the end. It took a full day project, but I got it done, audio, video, very good, including the whole clap strategy from Justin. So Wistia plus Justin, I got through a day and made my first video. But any other tips, though, DIY?
So and another one is Vimeo and Story and Heart. They also have a lot of stuff on filmmaking. Vimeo actually has a great film school that they offer on there. There's like a section that's called Film School, I think. So definitely a great place to start. The other thing is that if you guys do decide that you want to like start doing your own video, I think it's important to realize when it comes to our production company, each of us have like a specific thing we're really good at. And I'm really good with the camera, right? And we have a guy who's amazing at editing. We have a couple guys that are really amazing with editing and motion graphics, right? And most of you guys are small businesses, and you're probably really good at what you do. And so it's important to remember that you should focus on what you're good at. However, I'm not saying that doesn't mean you shouldn't do video and you should hire somebody as awesome as we are, which you should. But what I am saying, though, is that you guys should figure out where video fits into your life. Where can you guys manage your business and then also still do video on the side in a way that's going to help your business, right? And so another thing to do is hire somebody to consult you guys and sort of help you, like we'll be your therapist, okay? We'll sit down with you and be like, where does video fit into your life? How do you feel about video? It's important to have that kind of conversation and realize like what is it that you can do in your means rather than go out. I can't tell you how many clients that I've had who seriously it's like, wow, that's a really nice camera you have. Like that's actually, I want that camera. I can't believe you have that. Do you use that? Oh no, I bought it, but we couldn't figure it out. That's a shame. So don't go to that extent. Just because you buy the $6,000 camera or the $40,000 camera or whatever, it doesn't mean that you're going to get anything good out of the thing. You got to know how to tell stories, and you have to know how to edit. Editing isn't just throwing clips into a timeline. There's an art to editing. I mean, truly, people who can, I always say, when we interview for an editor, I'm like, can you dance? That's my question. Can you dance? Or do you like music? Do you play music? Because if they do, then they're more than likely going to be a better editor than somebody who doesn't. And it's just about rhythm and pace. I mean, there truly is an art to it. I mean, I'm confident that one day.
I can dance, but I can't edit
Oh, no.
video.
Well, we can teach you, buddy. And I don't know about your dancing. Anyway,
Yeah.
love you though. All right, you totally sidetracked me now. All right.
No, Justin,
Anyway,
I
that's it.
want to second that. I just want to say, from the marketer standpoint and from where Hanson's coming, like if you don't want to spend your whole day in a garage like Hanson did, and if you can't afford to, and you do need, as marketers, we need people like these guys to help us out, and that's really my point of view, and what I'm sitting here to tell you, because I've been through this multiple times. So, you may have some ability to either record the video yourself, or you may want to get started on your own, but it's nice to find a vendor or someone to lean on. And so, I encourage you to get somebody to either, help you do some editing or to maybe do the recording. And there's lots of people in this room or in the community, if you don't have someone in-house or if you don't have the ability yourself, to just have somebody to lean on or to help you, get a better finished product. So don't be afraid to reach out for resources like those. It'll help you get a better product in the end.
I just want to give one small example. Ryan, Plan It Together. Stand up real quick. So Ryan came to us. Yeah, give him a big round of applause.
Nice haircut.
He's got a beautiful haircut.
Yeah.
Ryan came to us a while ago, and we did some video for them. But also one of the things is that they have a software company, and part of their software is that they have updates and all kinds of things that happen all the time. To hire us to come in and do that all the time is going to be expensive, right? So they hired us basically to come in and teach them how to do their own screen capture and audio capture and be able to do these updates. And those videos don't need to be especially exciting. They don't need to have a story, because the thing is that for them, their client has already purchased the software. So what's important to them is that when there's that software update and they need to change things or learn how to install the new software or whatever, Ryan can sit there and tell them on the computer how to do it. And now it's stored in a library on their website so that they have access to that and a step-by-step follow as far as like being able to do that. And that was an example of like, he came to us and said that we don't want to make a whole video ourselves, but we do realize that we can do some stuff on our own. So can you advise us? So we set him up with a lighting setup and microphone and basically the screen capture software and all that stuff so that they were able to do it themselves. So that's one example of how it can fit into your company. And that is definitely doable, and you should do that.
All right, let's open the floor up. Questions, Alicia. Let's get a mic. Let's get a mic over to you. I'll walk it over.
Hi, guys. I'd like to talk about eyeballs on videos that are finished. What do you guys recommend as far as distribution online? Preferably things that are unpaid. Talking frequency, platforms. What do you guys prefer?
Everywhere. I know, I'm teasing you,
You should really look at keywords you're looking to target and save your movie file with that keyword. If it's real estate San Diego, make your video file real estate San Diego. Your title on YouTube says real estate San Diego. Your description has it. Your tags have it. And when you write about it, you really want to get Google familiar with optimizing your keywords on YouTube. And I tell you what, those 4 things, your metadata, your title, your description, and your tags, you cannot go wrong with doing that. So I look at YouTube as a first and foremost place to put your video. If you want higher quality to use on your website, choose Vimeo. It has a higher rate playback. So that would be great for putting it on your website, promotion through YouTube. Facebook is another great way. In fact, Facebook is the best and cheapest and most targeted promotional site. And so even if you don't have a lot of money, I really recommend doing a couple tests, maybe with 50 or $100, because you can get some really fantastic results with Facebook.
Yeah, and YouTube is huge, obviously, but depending on what kind of industry you're in, you don't want to put all your eggs in your YouTube basket. So I don't know, are you B2B? You are B2B? So, I mean, you're looking at Vimeo, yeah. What about LinkedIn? What about,
That's actually where over half of our website visits come from LinkedIn. Facebook and all of that other stuff is taking the height. Nobody's looking for wood boxes on Saturday at home.
but they might be. So with Facebook, I wouldn't discount Facebook because of the massive ability to target on Facebook. So maybe, right? Just don't throw it away.
That's done their targeting.
I imagine you looked it up because you're savvy. So, you know, when I said everywhere, I mean just you don't want to. Anyone?
There's schedules to that. That's a, you can ask me about that later, but I won't.
Yeah,
go into
maybe
that.
we'll dive
Depends.
into that separately. That's a great question. I don't know. We could take it offline, maybe. Okay.
So I can chat a little bit about what we do at Wistia. So I would say, you know, it depends on where your audience is, right? Bring it to your audience. If your audience is on LinkedIn, that's awesome. You know, double down on that. You know, you were saying preferably free, so I'll stick with that. You can do LinkedIn ads or what have you. That's up to you. But something that we do, like we're mostly B2B as well, and we found that the best way to connect with these folks is on a super real level. So what we do is we'll put our videos or our content on like specific subreddits. If you go on Reddit, that's a huge source of traffic for us, huge. You know, I have to say with Richard, like SEO is huge. Make sure all of that is in the right place. When folks search for what they want, they're going to use those keywords, and you know, make sure you come up there. So something else that we do is we'll post stuff on like really real human connecting places. The inbounding Slack, right? If you're a HubSpot user, they have a Slack room right now called inbounding.slack.com. Check that out. You can sign up for free. You want to connect with the people behind your audience, right? Not like just your audience as like a giant group, but the human beings behind your audience, right? So go to where they are. For us, it's mostly video sites, video communities. We'll go there, and different subreddits, different sites around. Like, what I would say is, you know, make a giant doc of where, Google Docs, of where your audience hangs out and find out how you can authentically get in there and connect with those people. So I hope that helps.
Very helpful. All right, let's take it over here.
So I'm sure people come to you with a lot of really great, crazy ideas for their videos, but is there something that will come to you that you often are just like, that's going to cost $10,000 and add nothing to your video? You don't need that rocket exploding in the background to show growth?
Always need a rocket.
But is there some area that just generally comes to you and you're often, that's not going to help your video? I see where you're coming from, but it's not right. Is it post-production? Is it adding extra camera crews? Is it extra set design?
It really comes in the conceptualization. You know, commercials cost hundreds of thousands to $1 million for a 30-second commercial, and a business comes to me and they're like, well, why isn't this idea only $5,000? Well, there's a reason those commercials cost so much. There's movement, there's writing, there's branding, there's so much that goes into a video, you guys. And sometimes it's completely unrealistic. I've gotten things where it should be $100,000 and they had a $1,000 budget, and I was like, I still try to work with them though, you know, because I want to be nice, I want to help them out. So I say, well, what can we do with your ideas? And sometimes that vision with the budget never matches. But sometimes it does, and we can work out a solution. I don't have any particular stories off the top, but that happens a lot.
So you want like a specific story? Is that what you're going after? I honestly, I can't think of any. I've definitely had some crazy clients.
I think the way that you can avoid that, though, from happening, and I'm sure, like, you two especially, like us, there's that creative process in the beginning where you really, like, get specific on here's what the outcome is. And then you kind of get that conversation out of the way because, I mean, yeah, some people have, like, ideas that you're like, I don't really think that anybody's going to get that, you know, but you just walk them through. And a lot of times that process helps helps the client because they get really clear. They're forced to get clear on who's the audience and what do we want them to do. And I thought it was this, but actually it's this. So
I had a videographer once not tell me no, and I could be a little demanding if you guys have worked with me before, and I needed a photo shoot in Alaska on an island, and I needed a shot of the island from mainland, and that was kind of a hard area to get to. But I told her I needed the shot. She goes up to Alaska. She tries to get to that place. It's a 5-hour hike with video equipment to that spot. She gets there in time for sunset, to catch the sunset. Well, guess what? That means it's 5 hour of a hike back. And there's bears in Alaska.
He wins.
Yeah. I paid $1,500 for that video shoot. Her life was in danger. Not only were there bears, she heard the bears, like she saw the bears. She was frightened. She was scared for her life. She came back. She sounded a little scared, so I owed her a few beers. But I paid 3 times that amount for my next video contract with them. So let's go, Robert. Hold on, let me give you the mic.
My experience with clients trying to do a DIY is they end up essentially educating themselves. I don't think I've ever had a client do anything of any importance themselves well. Would that be an overstatement?
It's rare.
It's very rare. So
because video is like it's like rocket science. There's many people in many different departments that are specialists, and you're trying to be a specialist with, somebody has a 6-year degree, and we have 5 people with a 6-year degree from NYU that went for masters in film doing different things. You're trying to do all 5 by yourself, really? Like, don't get me wrong. If you're shooting one with just your face there, great. That's easy to do. There's no editing. There's not much audio. It's just, I recommend those videos all day if that's your business takes that. But it's very rare, Robert, and I would second that for you. But on another note, I wouldn't get frustrated if you guys ever have questions about DIY. You're always welcome to contact me, and I would help guide you in the right direction. But that's what I would say about that. I haven't seen too many. Some people get lucky. Some people are natural talent, and they get away with it. Sure.
There's a place for that. There's a place for the selfie kind of video, and there's
Yep.
a place for what you offer. And you wouldn't touch a 30-second face video. I mean, it's not your business, and they don't need that. So I think
Yeah.
time and place.
Two different things, definitely.
It definitely does come down to kind of like what you need. I mean, I love the whiteboard animations, but that doesn't work necessarily for every situation. Definitely you guys do some amazing stuff, and don't get me wrong. But sometimes, like when we're talking about trying to get, the fish at the pier, we got to show it in a way that really it's going to do it. So, it definitely just depends on, the situation, what you need.
On that note, I got a question on, these a little bit more DIY on the other side. What do you guys think about Facebook Live, Meerkat, Periscope, Snapchat, these little instant videos that people are doing? Best way to use them, how to use them for a brand?
I'm so glad you asked that. Guys, live streaming is definitely a big wave of the future. And VR is another big thing. We've been doing a lot of VR lately. I've gone to I have some friends up in LA and done a few things up there, and VR is definitely not going to go away anytime soon. So it's something to think about. And also these live streaming things. Facebook is a Goliath. Mark Zuckerberg is not going anywhere. And him bringing on this whole live stream thing onto Facebook is a big move forward. I mean, I don't know how many of you guys use Periscope? Anybody in here use Periscope? Okay, that says a lot to me. I can tell you that I think live on Facebook is going to be much more popular than Periscope was. Periscope was cool. It was a concept that came forward. It was kind of like MySpace.
Is it sad that we're already saying Periscope's dead?
Yeah. Unless you're like a teenage girl in Russia, you're not going to get a whole lot of views. Sorry. That's no offense to you, but seriously, I mean, or you're Grant Cardone or Cardone or whatever his name is. I mean, unless you already have a big base, it's going to be impossible to build something up. But
best way for brands, companies to start with that stuff. What should they go for?
I have to agree. I think that live streaming is going to be great. A lot of brands use Snapchat nowadays. I think it's a great thing to look into if that is where your audience is, right? You got to think about, where's my audience? What do they care about? So if your audience is on Snapchat, a lot of folks are. For example, we just had a video marketing conference called Wistia Fest. And it was awesome. And we did a geo filter on Snapchat, and it was huge, right? I mean, this brewery has a geo filter. There are a lot of
We
businesses
just did
out
it
there.
actually at lunch. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. So it's awesome. I think if you're interested in getting started, check out what brands are on there right now. Check out to see where your audience is. Like, you mentioned earlier, my audience isn't really on Facebook, they're on LinkedIn. If your audience isn't on Snapchat, okay, maybe that's not the best place to go, but it's something to explore. I think Facebook Live is a really cool option. If you're interested in that, we just wrote a blog post about it, about using Facebook Live as a brand. So you can look at that if you're interested. But, I think it's cool. Check it out. New technology it's pushing our field, right? And we all, as marketers, want to be on top of that.
The other thing, too, is that people want to engage. It's not just about watch the video and it's over. That's great, but how cool is it that you can watch the live video, and as you're doing the video, you can see all the hearts and emoticons and all the likes and all the engagement coming back at you, and then you have that person talking to you. Oh, hey, Allison. Hey, so-and-so. Hey, and they're responding to you. That alone gets people going, oh my gosh, she talked to me. This is so cool, and it just drives that connection even further. So it's definitely about more meaningful engagement for sure.
When Ustream came out, which was one of the first platforms, I thought it was going to take off a lot quicker than it did. It came out in 2008, and I didn't see really much going on until now. So it's good, but it's hard. Live video is hard. You have to think about what you're going to say. You have to have a good topic. You have to have followers. You have to drive traffic to the webisode. So, or the live video, wherever the live video is at. If you have nobody watching it, you're talking to yourself.
You gotta get a haircut like that guy in the back.
Can everybody
All right.
watch me?
All right, next question. That's good.
Hey, correct me if I'm wrong, but you know how when desktop publishing came out, everybody's standards of quality on what to expect on a printed product just dropped, right? Because anybody can print their own, from their desktop. And then, for example, when self-publishing came out, it was like, hey, any quality of book is good to go because it's free and I'm okay with it. Anybody can produce a video. You have a phone, you have a production lab on hand. So correct me if I'm wrong, but is it correct to assume that people's standards in the quality of the video in terms of production is down as long as the audio is still good? Like you look at virals that go viral, as long as the elephant hugs a puppy rescuing it from some flood, and
emotion,
it doesn't matter on the quality of the video.
Not for companies, though.
That's
The
not
phone
true.
is
Yeah, that's not
upright.
true.
For companies,
here's-
socially.
There's two big differences. There's something that's like really crazy and fascinating, right? So your elephant example or whatever. That's something that like you'll watch it because it's like that never happens. So it doesn't matter what the quality of the video is at all because it's something that's so crazy and unique. But as far as the rest of it, no. As far as millennials go and anybody watching it, we actually speak a language of film that you guys don't even understand or don't even realize you speak. If you were to show somebody 100 years ago the films that we watch today, they would have no idea what's going on. We understand what cuts are. We understand that when you have a shot of a glass on a table and then somebody goes and picks it up, that was that glass on the table, right? We know the language of film. And so we are educated as far as how quality should be. And yeah, I mean, it is important. And there's a big difference between what's shot on your film or your phone and what's shot with a professional camera.
I have to agree here. I think that the quality is extremely important. I think even if you're shooting something like a webinar introduction video, and let's say it's on your phone, that quality has to be great. Because if it's a social video that you're putting up on your personal Facebook and the quality is terrible, like that's fine. It doesn't really matter. But if you're representing your business, that quality has to be on point. Yeah.
So in the B2B enterprise video market, where do you think the future is? Is it more on the animation whiteboard side where it's really easy to produce a cheap video specific to the purpose? or do we still need the real people and the real video?
You still need the real people, and I'm the first to say that. We do a blend. You know, we'll have some real people, we'll have some, then there's some animation in there. It's just another medium, and you just always have to know what the outcome needs to be and who are you talking to. Speak to that person so that they get it, and that can be, for some people, you know, certain personalities, their video can be just them walking down the street holding their iPhone. For some brands, you have to evoke that emotion like these two do, and it's got to be real people. Even B2B, definitely B2B. I mean, same thing.
I think it's going to be a combination of VR, live streaming, already produced videos. I think you'll have live video agents. I don't know why that's not done already in Fortune 100 companies where there's live video agents that you can see. There's live chat, but there's not live video agents. It's not that hard. I think, in fact, we're behind times. Our hardware has transcended sort of our software and the way we're going. In fact, video will also be there when we use glasses to look and earbuds to see. We will transcend the hardware of your computer and of your phone, and you'll look back at this, and even B2B or B2C, and you'll look back at this and you'll say, wow, remember that clunky device, that big old phone we used to hold when you have a contact in your eye watching video? So video will transcend all that, especially in the business-to-business front, because it makes travel cheaper. You don't have to get your whole staff together for training. There's so many ways to save money, enterprise solutions for B2B. I think they'll all be used in the future.
I think another thing that's interesting to keep in mind too is that the fact that like today production is cheaper. So that means that we are actually able to customize videos more towards certain audiences and tailor videos to people, like I was saying earlier. So that's something also to keep in mind, is that now we're going to be able to actually target specific people, specific businesses, and have... Yeah, it's so case by case.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, one of the most frustrating things I have as far as like when clients call me and say, well, how much is it for a 3-minute video? I mean, I'm like, of what?
See, we can answer that because we're using, you know,
Yeah,
the same materials, it's all, you know, it's a voiceover talent, it's a scriptwriter, it's this. These guys are like, some people you can say a 3-minute video, and it's like, well, am I jumping out of a plane?
Right.
Or are we just filming on the
It's
grass?
so
It's like-
broad.
Do you ever see those commercials where they just look terrible online? You're like, man, I don't know anything about video, but I can do something better than that. Those are the 597 videos that are on your Google search bar when you see that those are who produces those. And then you have your $1 million 30-second commercials, and you have your 100,000, your 10,000. It depends how much talent is involved, how much professional cinematic gear, how much storyline development, and then also the editing process, motion graphics, animation, visual effects.
And the
All right,
strategy.
Let's squeeze a few more questions in here, guys.
Hey guys, what 3 elements do you think might make for the best product video? Will you repeat that?
Good
I'm
question.
sorry.
Hold it close.
Oh, what 3 elements do you think contribute to making a great product video?
Tough question. Do you guys hear it?
Yeah.
They don't. You stumped them.
I mean, I think it's hard to say like top 3. You know, what? Top 3. I'm like, oh my god.
Well, I think we can all agree that
You don't
the
all have to,
story
you don't all have to answer it. It's okay.
is the top.
Yeah, I think that it's like an infomercial, you know, it's like, are you losing your hair? Do you want women to find you more attractive? Those work because they're digging up pain and they're solving the pain. What it is they make you sick, they make you sicker, then they get you well. So those videos that paint the pain to your target market the right way, tell your story, and then get you better. You know, you're sick in the hospital. Okay, you know, I want my full head of hair back. You know.
Another word for pain, though, is emotion. You got to get.
Yeah, the pain
get it.
and the storytelling of your brand and how your brand solves their pain is to me the strongest product videos.
Basically,
Nailed it.
the audience has to see themselves in that story.
Solving the pain.
Also, I mean, another thing too is that earlier Margot pointed out that you know, one of the things is that, okay, so I read this a while ago, and I think you had it in your slides, right? It was about the 79% of people will buy a product that they see a video with. So a while ago, I read a stat, and I can't quote it exactly, but basically, if you go to 2 websites, right, and one website or they're both exactly the same. They have pictures and they have the exact same price and exact same shipping, all that stuff. People are 80% more likely to buy from the website that has a video versus the video that doesn't. So that's one thing. Having a video for your product to begin with is going to be really important. Another thing is, you know, again, I'm beating a dead horse here, but, you know, understanding your target demographic and then making a video that's tailored towards your target demographic with your product is going to be really important. And then maybe one more thing, if you want three things, is to sort of understand, like, across the social media and online resources that are available today, you know, which one is going to be the most effective for delivering your product. So like boxes may not be the best for Facebook, for example. It might be better suited for LinkedIn. You know, and LinkedIn is, you know, I didn't say anything about LinkedIn earlier, but LinkedIn is another wonderful resource as far as like promoting video.
You mean Microsoft?
So yeah.
That's only going to be true for a couple more weeks.
What's that? What's only?
LinkedIn was acquired by Microsoft.
Oh yeah, that's right. So sorry,
Boo.
LinkedIn. Bye bye.
Justin, did you mention if there's an opportunity to have product reviews too? Did you mention that
Oh,
already?
that's true too. Yeah.
If there's an opportunity for you to have options for product reviews, that's a huge add-on.
Like testimonial videos?
Testimonial videos or product reviews are just as good as product demos, product demo videos.
I was going to
For
say
sure.
the same thing.
Wrap those
If you,
all in. They're
if you
huge-
can't,
huge-
no, I was going to say the same thing. If you can't, that's another great video. If you can't afford yourself, you don't want to start the video, you know, process yourself, you can request your clients, your customers to send in their testimonials. And I mean, people buy more on Amazon just because here's somebody going, oh my gosh, I love this face cream. And it's just her at home using the face cream, and here's how I used it. And people will be buying that one more than the one that doesn't have it.
All right. Last question, and then we're all here for another 30 minutes, 40 minutes networking, hanging out. So don't be afraid to come up and ask us questions afterwards. But let's take one last question here.
Drinking beer.
Well,
I think it was good what you were talking about, the conceptualizing phase, and so much of it really happens before you even take a step into the filming room. And how much or what strategies should we be considering for adding annotations to our videos and planning for the mid call to action, like you were saying? Should we be having a person standing there saying, click this button right here, or should we extend our videos longer so that we're able to have these annotations?
good question.
That's a great question. So something that we do, sometimes we do the thing where we do like, click this link, and it's like right there, and people are like, whoa, it like looks cool and it's cute and it works, so whatever. So sometimes we do that, but what I would say is plan it into your video. It doesn't have to be longer. Like you don't have to fit it in, like it doesn't take up any space, you know what I mean? But plan it into the video and say, when you're scripting, say, do we want an annotation or a turnstile, a lead capture form in this video? If so, where do we want to put it? Well, we see that 20% into the video is the best time to put in an annotation. So let's script around that 20% and let's make it really flowy. And let's make that script really flowy. And in the middle say, hey, if you want to find out more, you know, click the annotation link, and the link comes up. And people are like, oh, shit, boop, you know, and then they're in. So plan around that. And if you're doing a turnstile, make sure you have the introduction, you have the tip, get those folks' attention so they don't go, and then bring in that turnstile. And people are like, okay, I trust you. You gave me information. I feel good about it. I'll put in my email address to watch the rest of the video. So I would just say, you know, strategize around that. Yes, make separate cuts.
Yeah, that's one of the things I was saying earlier too. Is understanding that where your video is going to go and how you can fit your strategy into that, right? So Instagram, for example, I suggest, even though they allow the landscape perspective now on Instagram, to still do a square aspect ratio. It makes sense. You're going to take it up as much of your real estate on your screen as possible, you know, and then knowing your limitations. So now it's a minute. It used to be only 15 seconds. So how do you have that call to action in that short period of time?
All right. Well, we really appreciate all these guys being here. They have tons more knowledge in their brains, so don't hesitate to hang around and ask them more questions. But please give me a huge round of applause for these awesome guys. That is all we have for you today, folks. This is the SD Inbound Marketing Seminar. We've got a lot coming up, so stay tuned for your in your emails. We've got slides coming to you, so you're going to get all this in your inbox. But big things coming up. So thanks so much for coming, and have a wonderful evening.